Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Hello, everyone. Before we begin, I did remember to hit record this week. That said, in this corner, the one and only world time, small time, up time, down line, 3 time, B line to the good time, it's Paul Burr01 Astro Pub Schwellick. In the other corner, the shivered timber who constantly begs the question, if you say a pun in the forest, do the trees groan? It's Shiver Bathory.
Adrian!
And in the other corner, the man with the other plan, it's the other Brian, is or it the only Brian we don't really know.
Hi.
And then there's Eris. Welcome to the Relay Station.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
I'm virtually waving.
Virtually waving, yeah. Brian, you had video last week, and this week it's broken, so I apologize for your video. But welcome again, and thanks for being on. And thank you too, Paul.
No problem. My background has decided to do weird things.
That's okay. That's okay. We're not organized enough here for backgrounds. Okay, so
there you go. I got it now.
I'm trying to decide where to start this week.
Why don't we talk about calling all devs?
Sure. Okay, let's start with the actual like newsy stuff, and then we can get into the ranty stuff. So let's start with calling all devs. Yeah. So where are we? NPC traders 3.5 or 3.6.
Yeah.
That's good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, let's talk about it. Reconfirm
Arena Commander and Star Marine.
Yeah. They're building a Arena Commander Star Marine team. That means that I don't know if that means they're hiring. I think that probably means they're hiring and then they're pulling from the internals.
They're always hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they always have jobs. Like there's
there's
literally 70 jobs on their job board right now, and they actually filled most of their jobs the last time they did a big hiring spree. There was like maybe 20 or 10 left on there. Now there's another 70.
Yeah.
Mostly in LA or Frankfurt
UK.
or UK.
Yeah. Seriously though, if you've got some game experience and want to go make games with CIG, go apply.
If I'll say this, if you're interested in the potential of, because like it's Amazon, if you're in the potential of Lumberyard, and you want a company to start working with Lumberyard, CIG may be or Foundry Core 2 may be a good option, just simply because from what I've seen with Lumberyard, it could very well be the next Unreal in terms of like.
Amazon seems like they're supporting it pretty.
Bezos cares about making games now.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I think it's because he took a look at like Gabe Newell and found out how much money Gabe had, and he's like, "I want that money.
I want
because I want all the money.
Yeah,
yeah,
all of the money is mine. I see these other people. I see
Elon
these other
Musk
people
is making rockets. I'm gonna make rockets now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna literally snoop underneath him so that I have the technical first rocket that went to space and then re-landed, just because I can.
It didn't really go to space, but that's.
I feel like what's going to happen is that Elon Musk is going to launch the BFR, and as he launches the BFR, Bezos is going to launch a very small ship with just like one pod and himself, land at the spot where they're going to be landing, and chill there. So when the first colonists arrive, he's just going to be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here first."
Hashtag first.
And not tell anybody. Not tell anybody, just because that's how Bezos works.
Yeah. Because he does have all of the money.
Yes.
All of it.
All of it.
Right. We were talking about Star Citizen. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. Like the fact that we actually have dedicated team, they're actually putting a dedicated team together. One of my biggest gripes, since I've been running the broadcast team for SC4, which by the way, next week we're going to be doing another tournament for Arena Commander. So if you guys want to come and watch it. I don't know the exact times, but it's going to be on Saturdays. So I believe it is 1700 UTC. So around
noon Eastern.
Eastern, yeah, noon or 11. So we'll be doing that, and it'll probably be going for 4 to 5 hours, not 8. It's the playoffs. We had 7 teams. The first group, first playoffs happened yesterday, and then we have one today, and then one, or not playoffs, but first game, and then we have one today, which are not broadcast, but they're being done behind the scenes. And we may be pulling some footage from there, and then like using a recap before we go live and stuff like that. So, but anyways, because I've been doing this, one of the biggest problems we've been having is that there's really no one giving a shit about Arena Commander. They haven't done new maps. They haven't worked on game modes. They haven't given us customized options. They haven't. And then on top of that, you've got IFCS is broken. You've got all these other problems they've been having with just bugs in general that makes it much more difficult for players to have fun or enjoy themselves. And it makes it more difficult for us to actually have a competitive scene. Which there's a lot of people who are interested in doing competitive scene. There's a lot of really talented pilots as well. So this should be a good addition, not only for Arena Commander, but for Star Marine as well.
I personally still think it is too early for a dedicated competitive team or scene, just because we have no idea what's going to change in any patch, right? Like,
well, but that's the point isn't that like we're going to have esports in Star Citizen. The point is that we need to have the framework available so that people who are interested in that kind of stuff, because Star Citizen is sitting on a unique property.
Yes.
There aren't very many space-based FPSs that exist. There's been a couple, but most of them have been really small indie projects or were one-shots from large franchises like Infinity War, and they didn't really embrace the whole like EVA stuff as much as Star Citizen has.
Yeah.
And then there also is no dogfighting simulator with spaceships, also racing simulator with spaceships. They don't exist. There's nothing on the market right now. There's something similar with some like sort of third-person ship dogfighting, but they're more like
there's a couple, but
they're not really the same.
They also tend to go like single player. I've noticed like lots of the big space games are not going huge MMO,
like Starfield.
Yeah, but
we'll see that.
Yeah.
In comparison, there's always been far more fantasy-based MMOs than sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even sci-fi MMOs have usually been focused on either shooters or like land-based. They're just basically fantasy MMOs with the reskin, with sci-fi reskin kind of thing. But they have a unique property that has a potential to sell them copies of the game if they if they put some effort in it. And it's not the hardest thing to make. It's a lot easier to make an arena-based shooter or an arena-based dogfighting game or a racing game than it is to make a freaking MMO with those same mechanics.
I am glad that they're putting a team towards doing that. I also think that now or in a little bit, probably 6 months to 8 to 10 is when we'll start seeing that stuff, because there is a lot of room for that kind of inclusion in Star Citizen, but it also kind of makes sense that they haven't done it yet, just because lots of the background stuff hasn't existed. I do like that they're going to start focusing on it now, though. I like the idea of Star Marine. I'm still waiting for it to play well, though.
That's the thing.
Same here.
That's why we need that's why this team that they're building is a good idea.
I'm happy for that, because we need it. It doesn't. I like FPSs. FPSs are my favorite genre. I used to play them slightly competitive. Like man, Star Marine feels bad.
Yeah.
Like
all of the top tier guys that I've talked to who play Star Marine, because we do Star Marine as well for SE4.
Yeah.
They've all been like, yeah, this is garbage.
Yep.
This feels like absolute horseshit.
it doesn't feel like a good game yet, which sucks, and it needs to. And I think part of the problem that we do have is IllFonic was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And they fucked up.
And there's no team for it.
Yeah. So, and they should have probably created an internal team for it a lot sooner. But
yeah, they should have a year or two ago.
Yeah, but they're doing
actually
it now.
Just had it.
They're doing it now, so good. What do you think,
and
Brian?
Plus, well, I was gonna say, like, once they get everything a little bit more balanced in Arena Commander and Star Marine, they could start, really marketing that. So it's kind of like one of those honeypots where, ooh, these people who like these competitive games can come in and play and be like, oh, what's this persistent universe over here?
Yeah. Also, I'm 100% with Commander Llama.
Oh, bloody kids. Bungie are not the be-all, end-all of FPS games. There were many companies that do it far better than them.
Like?
Well, preferably ones that aren't basing their franchise mostly on consoles. I would trust someone who goes PC mostly.
I have to say this. Anyone who played the original Crisis or Crisis 2, they had a pretty decent multiplayer mode. And as they got better at what they were doing, they got between Crisis 1 and Crisis 2, they got much better at it. And I haven't played a lot of Crisis 3, so I don't know. But a lot of those people who were involved in Crisis 1 and Crisis 2
are with
CIG.
Yeah. The thing is, and I know what Commander Llama is talking about here, because I 100% agree with them. It's not the game itself, not the all the other stuff. It's just the gunplay. The gunplay that Bungie does, the feel of the guns, it honestly feels better than almost any other game out there.
Am I the only person in the world who's played Battlefield 2142?
No, I loved it.
DICE did a great job before EA.
And then they shat the bed. Then they shat the bed.
Then they shat the goddamn.
They definitely shat the goddamn.
Goddamn.
Okay. What else was there from Calling All Devs this week?
3.5 and the fact that they're rolling forward with patches, like the roadmap. Good job.
Yep.
Thank you for being more
they're on the ball
with us, just telling us what you're doing in the near future. So, I mean, because a lot of people will complain, oh well, CIG is not being transparent. It's like they're literally telling you everything they know when they know it.
Yeah.
At this point.
Except for Squadron 42.
We're gonna get into that when Eris gets on his soapbox and drunkenly rants about.
Hey,
everything.
I'm drinking. Also, you promised you'd be drunk for this, so
I need to go get a drink because
Go.
you started by the time you were like, oh yeah, and now we're live. I'm like, oh fuck.
yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. Go get a drink. We'll ask Brian what he thinks about race courses on moons, and they were going to have them, but kind of dropped it due to the planet tech continually changing, but will probably happen again at some point. What do you think of that, Brian?
Well, considering that when Arena Commander first came out, I was a big into the racing, but then I've dropped off. So, I mean, I'm fine with it because that technology needs to be fleshed out more and needs to be optimized better, and if you don't have the planets and moons working properly, how are you gonna be able to fly around them without colliding into something that wasn't there or whatever?
Yeah, no, I like that they're going to be adding it eventually. I also like that they didn't do it too soon, which seems like a lot of stuff with CIG. It's like they get a whole bunch of stuff ready and then they're like, oh no, we can't actually release this yet because it's going to change with this later down the road. So I don't know. Anything else from Calling All Devs that anyone wants to grab onto, latch onto, and
Let me look at this really good website called relay.sc to see if it's for a summary of this.
I don't think we actually did a summary of calling all devs.
Didn't?
I'm going to be
Well,
trying.
I did, but it's for internal use only.
Yeah, and I'm going to be trying to force you to start putting even that internal use only thing on Relay as a really short thing because it should be up there.
Yeah, but I do it on a Saturday or a Friday morning.
That's fine.
Everyone's
It's
watching
super-
by then.
It's super easy though, because like I've watched it, but I forgot what was on it. So
Yeah.
sometimes people like I was on the Space Pro show last night, and I'm like, was Luke in this one? And they're like, no. I'm like, I've watched it every week. I don't. It's just, they all run together because it's all done like that.
We need to have it on there for archival purposes. Not even
I'm going to
for.
start putting subliminal messages in.
That's fine.
All right.
Subliminal messages. Donate to Relay.
Let's see. Long-term plans with weapon racks and lockers. Awesome. Just talked about it a lot. You could actually weapon racks work in 3.1.3. You can actually on the Cutlass, if you take your weapon, you take your weapon in your hand and you walk up to a weapon rack, it'll give you the option to put it there. You can put it there and walk away. You log out with the Cutlass logs back in, your gun's still in the weapon rack.
Yeah. I do like the idea of being able to set loadouts in Mobiglass, and then when you go to a locker, you just change into it. You don't have to manually do everything. It's a good mix between having multiple loadouts that you can swap to, which is a standard in MMOs, but also having to go somewhere to swap to it.
Yeah,
I do have a boring but question that'll make you go, huh? How the fuck are they going to represent that in game? Your character changing clothes, are you going to fade in and out of existence?
I
Or
think
you
they're
gonna
just going to
it'll pop.
gamify that.
strip
It just
down,
pops.
or-
They're just going to pop it.
yeah. It'll just pop it. They'll just do like a boop. Like they'll
Serious
do like
question. Serious question. Does anyone care if it just pops?
No. It's not. I mean, it's a little immersion breaking, but the problem is that it's such a standard with games that no one gives a shit. You know.
And that's
Like,
what they do now.
It is
Yeah.
Yeah. It works. It's what everyone
fading
does.
out and back in.
Except for right now, you get a little reboot, like
Mhm.
signal,
your-
and
Yeah, it's like
good to go.
Yeah.
and that's sure something like that's gonna happen with you, like first person. Like you'll put some stuff on, and it'll be like
Yep.
you'll go fade back and fade out or fade up again a little bit. But to everybody around you, it's just gonna be look like, hey, you've got clothes on. Now you've got other clothes on. You know. My biggest issue with that is also making sure that how are people going to how much are these lockers going to hold? Because that's going to start becoming an issue. Like having larger lockers in larger ships makes sense. That way you can have like your EVA gear, you can have your defense gear, you can have your walk around gear, you can have your engineering gear.
I could see it being something like, one heavy suit, 2 medium, 3 light, 1 gold.
Something like that would actually work. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get the gold idea, but yeah. Oh no, the actual
gold shirt.
Yeah. The gold shirt. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that's an old reference. I get that reference.
I was
it's
around
an
for
old
that,
meme,
yeah.
sir.
Do you think it could
It's a
also
golden
be,
oldie.
Do you also think that it could be the Resident Evil persistent locker, but it's at different
Locations.
spots? Yeah.
I
But you
kind-
get access to all your inventory.
I would
I'd be against that.
honestly, I would kind of be okay with that. I'm already concerned about you travel the entire verse away with some of your friends, you get to a new planet, they log out, and you've got no ships there. And you have to waste like 2 hours having a ship transferred there to pick up or something. Like that already does slightly concern me in a game. In a like you know what, all 4 of us are playing, we take a freelancer, we take it from Earth over to somewhere far away from Earth, Terra, and you know what, you guys all log off because you've got lives and work tomorrow, but I am single and homeless and living in an internet cafe playing Star Citizen, and I've got nothing else to do, and now I can't jump into a ship. What am I going to do?
You have time. You can wait.
You have a beacon.
Coconut ship.
Well, the reality is that like that kind of thing actually improves gameplay, and I'll give you a reason why. Because what it'll do is it'll force you to take a mission somewhere on the planet. So then you'd have to take a mission with other NPC crew or with a player crew that you have to get onto their ship and work while your ship's being transported. Or you may have to go onto the planet and do the MMO thing, like, hey, I can rent a cyclone and I can just boogie down to the to this local like pirate station and go clear out the pirate station, so then I can come back and do it. It forces you to deal with your local surroundings. It's that classic MMO or classic sci-fi trope of like you're broke and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can't go anywhere, so you're gonna have to start dealing with jobs in the local area. Like a MechWarrior or a BattleTech did that with their campaign, and I mean it's been done in like Firefly and everybody else. It's that kind of like a freaking Outlaw Star did that same concept. Like you have no money, and you need to find jobs right near you in order to get money so you can get off the fucking planet. So
what's the smallest ship that can be used as a proper mothership with, you know, more than one single seater?
Other than the Starfarer?
Smallest?
Starfarer can use it, but you can't use, like, you can put two or three P-52s in it.
No, bigger than snubs, like proper, at least proper one-man fighter sort of.
Idris.
Probably
It
Idris.
fix itself. Well, if they make it so, say you have an Idris or larger, because it's got a mothership, it can never log out. It needs to be permanently in the verse, permanently crewed, even if it's by NPCs at certain times. So it would kind of solve your issue in that way if it works like that. But it could just as easily work the way Paul says, and probably will be both.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are people in chat saying, you know, there's Cool the Idiot who got a Starliner, who looks like the idiot now when you're just waiting for a Starliner.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, is that if you want to go somewhere where you can get your ship again, you get in a Starliner and you travel back to where your ship is, and then you can get it. Like that's the other thing they've talked about as well, NPC transport.
Yeah.
The key about it is making your decisions have weight. And if you decide you're going to go off with your buddies, go drinking on a freelancer, and then you wake up from Earth, and you wake up on fucking Nyx, and you're like, where the fuck is everything? Where did my friends go? I'm stuck in Nyx.
What day is it? Who am I?
Yeah, I'm naked.
Why am I naked?
What the hell's going on? Yeah, exactly.
I'm naked and shivers in my room.
Then you have to
Promise not
figure
to
out.
tell people about that.
Sorry,
that
I forgot.
That should both be awesome, and it should have consequences. It should take you time to get your stuff done, and that leads you down paths that you may not normally go, which is kind of what Star Citizen is looking for. Which is why I like the idea of forcing you to say, hey, you're in a Cutlass, there are only 2 or 3 lockers. They can only hold like an armor and a clothing piece. You got to make sure you prepare for that.
Now, do you think that people might use alternate accounts for this? Of like,
Oh,
I've got an account that I play with all you guys, and then once you guys log off, well, I'm going to switch over to the garbage woman who just destroys people in Reclaimer. And
and you
eats their
also
souls.
have multiple player slots.
Yeah.
They talked about that too. They could work on that way too. So
Okay, I want to switch over to some of the stuff we saw in ATV. ATV wasn't terribly long this week, only about 20 minutes, but we did see some really cool stuff. The glass shaders tech that they're working on, the glass shaders and the like display interference, really, really good work here. What do you think, Brian? Does this did the glare before annoy you, and do you think that there's does this look good is what I'm asking.
Well, there was a point when a new ship came into the PU, it had that super interior glare that made flying challenging, especially around light coming into the viewport. But now that looks amazing. Like, I'm super happy about it, because I mean, if you don't have any reflections, it's gonna look like there's no glass there, or no polycarbonate laminate, or whatever it is.
Whatever it is they've decided it is, yeah.
So I like it a lot. You gotta have that immersion.
Paul, Did you at any point play The Division?
Yes, I actually max leveled within a week in the Division, and then never played it again.
Yeah, basically what I did as well.
Same.
But did you notice all of like I honestly thought that The Division had some of the best graphics and some of the best window destruction, like glass stuff that I had ever seen. And like you walk on top of a car and you see the footprint, you shoot the glass and it shatters, and then individual pieces of it fall out as you can. This just reminds me of The Division. I thought The Division looked really good, and this reminds me of that. That's all.
I am super excited for the combination of this and pressurized mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, my first thought was Alien Isolation.
Yes.
If anyone's played that game, the straight up fear you can get from playing that game is palpable. Like, it doesn't matter if you're not scared by horror video games. If you're stressed out about dying a bunch in a game or trying to complete a mission, you will get that stress, and you will get that what is it called? Suspense, by being like, nope, because you can't kill the alien. You can only scare it away, and the more you scare it away, the more it'll be attracted to you. So you have to kind of stealth around it, and every time you play the game, it'll be in a different place because the AI for the alien is designed to be kind of more, random, more procedurally generated in terms of its pathing, and it makes the game terrifying. And just something like that, I can imagine. Just CIG is good at atmosphere, in terms of like feeling, and I can imagine what we're showing on screen right now, the whole like happening when you go into a wreck because some pirate is there blocking signals. And you, in the darkness, you get just a single pew, and you hit your helmet, and suddenly there's venting is out, and then your glass is fogging up because of all the atmosphere that's leaving, and your character is going in panic, and then you're panicking because you don't know what's going on, and probably screaming because something just happened in the dark. You have no idea what's going on. Stuff like that is what people play games for. It's what people have been hoping for with Star Citizen in the long run, and I think that's going to pan out dramatically with these kind of things, these little things.
One thing that I'm really hopeful for, so games use sound really well now. Like, sound is a huge thing, and CIG have been talking about sound for a long time as well. But I'm really hoping that because it's a space game, CIG have an effective use of silence as well. Like, I really want there to be points where all you hear is your breathing. You know, like
I think they've actually spoken about that use of if it's more dramatic to use sound, they will use sound. If it's more if it fits the mood more, then they'll cut off all the sound. It's really going to vary.
And it's not necessarily that there's the sound is important. What's important is sometimes you don't want music, and sometimes you don't want anything, and sometimes you don't want perfect silence, and sometimes you just want of like sparks flying off of the walls, but just or a drip of some kind of coolant dripping from an engine,
or a blip on your motion detector that's slowly getting closer. It says,
that alone is what makes Aliens terrifying. Is beep 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 beep, and then as the crescendo,
salivating monster with acid for blood. It's pretty scary.
But the thing about it is that when you see the actual alien, and I'll argue this as well, is like in like AVP and other things where they're just like mowing down these things like they're fucking like cardboard cutout, stormtroopers. It makes them less terrifying. What's the fear for an alien or any kind of movie like that, or even in a game like this, is the fear of the unknown, hearing something or knowing something's nearby, but not being able to. Yeah, like the original Predator can be scary because he's there, he's watching, but nobody knows he's there. You're the only people. It's that get out of the house, you idiot! Go! The killer's in the house. What are you doing? Kind of
scary games.
Yeah, exactly. So like that kind of suspense is what really pisses people, pisses their pants. makes them piss their pants.
Yes.
I can say English properly. So the atmosphere that can be created with simply just one noise, or just having the glass fog on your visor, or walking around a ship and you see like the condensation on a piece of glass that's been slightly broken because of the temperature difference or something like that, is I don't know, it's kind of cool. It adds a lot to it. And it seems weird. It's like this little small thing, which is mostly just like, thank God we don't have fucking glare everywhere, and you can actually use our goddamn MOBA glass and our goddamn MFDs.
This
will add a little bit more to the whole experience.
I saw Avengers last night.
Mhm.
One, phenomenal. Holy shit.
I have to go tonight.
Goddamn wow. Just wow. But there are two things. One, in the trailers, the intro trailers, there was a Deadpool trailer, a Deadpool 2 trailer that was fantastic. Like it clicked at every level and was hilarious and awesome. It's like, oh, I really want to see Deadpool 2. And then the next trailer was the Ant-Man 2 trailer. And the sound use in it felt off. Like they had this repeating sound throughout in the do-do-damn or whatever. And just, it didn't mesh. And it's really interesting how less excited I am for Ant-Man 2 because of the poor sound in the trailer. It didn't, like, sound is really important. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
No, it
Anyway.
is. And I think we've got a lot of sound designers working at CAG that are really know that and
Yeah.
understand that. Like, I mean, have you been to a wreck in 3.0 or 3.1, or it's just since 3.1? Have you been to a wreck like on a planet?
No, I've actually not found one on a planet yet.
Same.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Like when you go towards a wreck, you'll hear the wind blowing, and as you get into the ship, you'll hear a
Everything I've
of like
seen,
panels moving, and then you'll hear like or more like a
I hear that all the time when
yeah, something like that. I can't hear. You'll hear warriors coming to play. But you know, it's like just a soft like reverberation or a soft hum. Like you get near like the engine, you'll hear a very very small hum of like the engine barely
hear the
being
sound
on.
of silence.
And it's just, it can be unnerving. There are times when I've been at a wreck where I could hear what I thought were footsteps, and you turn around and there's nobody there, and there's nobody in the whole wreck, unless I was being stalked by another player. But there's nothing really there, and as a result, there's
It's the cats
Yeah.
fucking with you.
yes, the
So,
cat's fucking with you.
I want to quickly talk about what's on screen right now, just some of the character stuff, because they showed off some more of the I want to say interstitial characters, the ones that kind of just are behind the scenes, the glue that keeps stuff together, that aren't the main characters. And they look fantastic. Like
They do.
these supporting characters that are behind the scenes that don't really they look really good.
They still look gamey, but I'm glad that they seem to have been stepping away from the idea that this is going to be so realistic, it's going to be like a 3D movie. It's like,
I'm okay with that for some of the cinematics, but these guys they may look a bit gamey, but their expressions and their mouth use, like their mouths seem real.
yeah,
Which is a problem in a lot of games of like their mouths don't quite sync up. Like it's slightly unrealistic. I don't know. Brian, what did you think? Did you watch this this portion? What do you think about how they look, the characters?
Are these characters? They're not tier 0, which is like the
No, these are
Mark Hamill's
I think
and all.
these
These
are
are
like
tier 1, right?
I don't even know if they're tier 1 or tier 2.
But I mean, whatever tier they are, they're looking good. I mean, yeah, they do suffer from some of the gamey look, but you know, you can
I want to say it is still a video game.
yeah.
It is,
Like-
and that's important to remember. But that's one of those things. It's like people. There's a difference between I'm okay. This looks great because it's a video game, and I want games to be photorealistic because photorealistic games are kind of boring. They don't
It's
look
kinda like-
that good.
Before that uncanny valley type.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not Uncanny Valley. It doesn't fall directly in the Uncanny Valley, which is nice.
The other thing that a lot of companies seem to just not quite get is making the faces seem a bit too flat, a bit too two-dimensional. Like you can look at them and you can go, the details on this I can clearly see are just a texture rather than having any depth to them, making
Yeah.
them look part of the face.
Yeah, no,
And the
I
facial
sorry, go ahead, Brian.
the facial animations are definitely top notch, even for these class of characters. Like the micro expressions that you see, the fluidity of it.
Yep.
You can tell nothing's really hand keyed.
It's
Yeah.
it's they had an actor do this, and this is what the actor did.
Mhm.
Now, whether
While directing.
it could still be not great on some small scenes where like the actor didn't have the greatest direction or something, or the actor wasn't great, but like what we've seen is, I think, really good. Okay, we're gonna be getting to questions soon. You all know the drill. If we don't get enough questions, I sing.
Have you had enough beer to sing?
I'm on my second.
I gotta
Only the
catch up.
second?
I think if we don't get enough, I'm gonna sing.
Can you sing
Running
Les
Man.
Mis?
Mhm.
Can you sing a song from Les Mis?
No, I don't know many songs from Les Mis. I've been
Damn.
learning
Phantom of
most of
the Opera.
Hamilton.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, what from Hamilton? Not One Shot. What is it?
I am not throwing away my shot. I am
Shot.
not
Yeah,
throwing away my
yeah, that song.
shot. You know, I'm
Like
just
that
like my country and I'm the scrap.
No.
Anyway,
No.
that's what you get
Not
if
yet.
you don't ask enough questions. So ask some questions. But before we get to the questions, once again, the videos are provided by Haramis. Thank you, Haramis, so much for doing that, because I know I wouldn't.
I don't at all when I have.
It's really
Stuff like
handy.
this.
It's incredibly
Yeah.
handy. I absolutely love it. I can't thank Haramis enough, honestly, because it helps a lot. That said, we've got about 10 minutes before it's question time, which means it's time for me to yell a little bit about. I think there were two things that I was going to yell about, and I'm trying to
Go
remember
ahead.
what they were.
Squadron 42,
Let me get my popcorn.
roadmap, and
Right.
ETF.
So
ETF. Yes,
yeah.
yes. Oh, that was the other thing that
It's
can I
ETF.
make the announcement at least?
yeah,
That Board Gamer released said in a update, the one of these updates he does, that he talked with Aaron at BritizonCon, and Aaron reconfirmed that the Evocati will be testing Squadron 42 when it releases, when it reaches that stage. And there's been mixed reaction from it.
So let's start with this one, and then we're going to do CitizenCon. So first with the ETF, I really want to know more about this. Like, I don't even know if I'm angry yet, because I don't feel like I have enough detail. Are the Evocati going to be testing the entirety of the game? Are they going to
We don't
test basic portions? What is happening here? But so Papa Dolvac helps run the Star Citizen subreddit, which is basically the largest hive of scum and villainy on Reddit. I think they were second for third for downvoting people.
It's so it's a little weird, but don't let people. There's one thing that I've seen people just kind of shrug it off as like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. What they said was that there were 88 posts that had more downvotes than they did have upvotes last year. Which I think is slightly off, because
That's
there's a
very
lot more.
off. There's a lot
There's
more
a
than
lot
that.
more of that.
Lot.
I think the average is that you would get 88 downvotes per post, or something like that. I have to look at it again, but the data isn't perfect, but
It's
it
not
does
perfect, but
basically. it does say that Star Citizen is a
In
download
fairness,
factory.
though, the more common posts are becoming, can my PC run this?
Yes.
Why am I only getting 10 frames a second? Is it worth me buying this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in fairness, people are dumb, but I don't want to talk about that as much as I want to talk about Papa Dolvac. So I like Papa Dolvac. He's a good guy. He's also one of the people
Lies
that,
and slander all throughout this podcast. But
He's
you know,
very good to his mother.
we are hashtag fake news confirmed. But
uh,
he's one of the people that has to mod the subreddit. And my straight up suggestion to him was, okay, when the Evocati get Squadron to test, if they're testing the entire thing, no, just shut down the subreddit entirely. Just shut it down, because it is not going to be leak proof.
They'll just
Evocati,
go to another subreddit.
yeah, but I don't care if they go to another subreddit as long as I don't see it, and as long as the people that spend a shit ton of their free time moderating the sub, getting literally nothing for it but shit on and death threats, as long as they don't have to have it spoiled for them too. This isn't even about me. I can avoid the subreddit. I avoided Twitter for 24 hours because I didn't want Infinity War spoiled. I left it. I can do the same for the subreddit if the game goes to Evocati. I just won't go there. But there are people that moderate it. There are people that support everyone else. It is a completely thankless job. They are shat on and threatened and like called the worst things possible, and they have to have.
And that's just the admin.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they have to have shit spoiled for them. I understand that Evocati are great. They're free testing. It's really hard to QA
it's
a
free
game.
real estate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But-
sorry, I had to meme it.
I don't understand memes.
You
I'm
disappoint me.
I'm getting
Yes.
old. I don't
Yeah.
meme. I don't know. What do you think, Brian? What do you think about the possibility of people like Paul
Mhm.
getting to play the game early?
I mean, I try to self-censor
You won't
myself.
hurt. You won't hurt my feelings, Brian. Say that
No,
you
no,
really
no, I mean-
feel.
I don't
mean
really,
anything by it, but fuck you, man.
but in all seriousness, though, like I honestly, I don't really care so long as that story isn't spoiled. I mean, I do get the argument that moderators will probably get the story spoiled for them because they have to moderate and delete and put spoiler warnings and all that. And I kind of agree that either there should be a moratorium on all Squadron 42-esque content from Evocati should not be posted to that Reddit. If people want to go to some other subreddit or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, let them do that to get their spoilers.
What do you think, Paul?
Well, first off, you're trying to lecture Reddit on not spoilers, and I tried that once, and they ended up downvoting me and called me the worst streamer known to man, and that I'm a horrible person, and that I'm a big baby, and how I'm not a real streamer, I'm just a fake one, and how I'm terrible. And then those people started to come back to my stream about 6 months later when I was the top streamer on Star Citizen for a while. So, and often I am. So. My whole feeling about Reddit is that Reddit can go suck a big fat bag of dicks, and if you're a regular poster there, sit and spin. You're a terrible community. You're one of the worst communities on Reddit. Deal with it and stop making excuses for yourselves. Clean up
Please
your
note
goddamn.
that the views of the guests on the Relay station do not necessarily conform to the views of Relay itself as an organization. They might not.
However,
we won't tell you.
As a member of Relay, I would like to propose that you just kill anyone that posts on the subreddit. You round them up into a concentration camp and you
There we
just
go.
murder them on fucking
Oh,
mass.
we're so dead. I
Dig
hate
a
you
hole
both.
for
I hate
them
you
and
both.
pile those bastards in, and we'll go for a McDonald's afterwards.
Yeah, sounds good.
You
Sounds
you
good.
are both.
They don't
the
even have
worst.
to post on the subreddit that's specific to Star Citizen.
Can I-
Anyone
just
that
on
posts
Reddit,
just
period.
kill
Can I
'em.
get some Monka TOSs in chat?
Okay.
but besides that point, like I have that's a whole nother thing that because I've been a Reddit user for a very long time, and there are some great Reddits out there that have some fantastic communities. And Star Citizen has the potential to be a fantastic community, and it tends to be on like, you know, half the time. But then one small controversial thing goes up, and people lose their goddamn minds over something.
I do feel like Star
I feel like
Citizen fans lose their mind way too easily.
That is true.
Like,
They're bored, and I don't blame. Man, that's the worst bit.
go
Either
play another
side.
game,
Well,
dude.
that's the solution, but they're still fucking bored, and games these days are mostly just shit.
I don't know. Battlefield's
That's
pretty
why
fun.
we're fucking spending so much fucking money on fucking Star Citizen, because every other game
Go
is
play.
shit.
Go play. Vermintide 2. It's the most fun I've had in a game.
I don't want to play
in
a
years.
fucking FPS.
I don't
That's all
give a
it's
shit,
been
sure.
for 25 fucking years. Ever since
Okay.
Doom came out, everyone's
I'm
been
cutting
playing
you off.
fucking Doom.
I'm cutting you off once again. Questions. But before we go to questions,
Let me finish mine real quick.
Yep. Go.
I don't.
Quick.
I don't like the idea because it's going to leak, and a lot of people don't want leaks. And beyond the leak, here's the problem: if it leaks, some people get spoiled. People lose their minds over getting spoiled. Whatever. The issue isn't that. The issue is long-term damage to the property. Because if you give ETF access to it, which you would give it like maybe usually 6 months before release as a means to test, if you gave them access to it 6 months beforehand, then the whole game is spoiled 6 months beforehand. All media outlets will have it 6 months beforehand because they don't give a fuck about Star Citizen from CIG. They want to get
They want that click.
them clicks, and they're going to do it. They're going to spoil it because they don't give a fuck. Because they don't care about working long term with CIG because they're not EA or Activision.
And someone is going to post a video where Mark Hamill's nose turns inside out and his eyes come out his ears.
Yeah, and then it's fucking Assassin's Creed Unity all over again. This is not a good idea. Like in terms of it may be a good idea in terms of helping protect the game,
Dirk.
but in terms of releasing your first title, your first official release of a game, fuck no.
Yeah.
This is a terrible idea. Don't do that. Because it's gonna get leaked as much as you hope it won't. It's the biggest thing in Star Citizen, so someone's going to leak it because they think it's their fucking right to release any information about Star Citizen, no matter what. Damn everybody else because they paid $5, and so they deserve information, all the information about the entire game and the source code, and all the addresses and phone numbers of all the developers. You know, that's the kind of the
There are genuinely people like that, and it's quite scary.
No, I'm not even. This is not even like over exaggerating. There are people madness. I'm sorry, I think he's just in chat. Who want to know the underwear sizes and of the various.
I mean, there are some aspects that we can all get behind as well.
Okay. Before we go to my complaint, Brian, do you have like a sober second thought to inject? You're quiet over there.
Yeah, well, because I mostly agree. I can't. Paul.
You also want to know the underwear sizes of all the developers?
I mean, yeah. Who doesn't? I mean, are they boxer briefs? Are they whitey tighties?
Oh, they're thongs. They're man
I'm
thongs.
sorry.
They all wear man
This
thongs.
just opened the door and walked in, and I couldn't help but laugh.
Hello.
How cold is it there?
It's not that cold.
She's reached a part in her life where she cocoons herself, and after a few days, she'll come out as a beautiful butterfly.
Oh my
Free.
god. Sorry. Okay, where were we?
Is that just
but-
something all Canadian women do, or
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I have another thing I have to yell about really quickly before we go to questions because it's really pissing me off. That is CitizenCon on Wednesday. I don't give a shit if there's something on weekends before and after. On a Wednesday, that is fucking trash. That is fucking trash. Do you know how much vacation time I need to pay to take off to go somewhere as far away as Texas in the middle of the fucking week? Not to mention, Paul apparently was saying that there's some giant, oh, Austin, we like music thing on the weekend before and the weekend after, which means it's right in the middle of it, which means there's going to be literally no fucking place to stay during CitizenCon because you won't be able to get a fucking apartment anywhere. And it's on a fucking Wednesday. This is absolute fucking drivel horse shit.
They shit the goddamn.
They did.
I like the hand that's petting you, like shh, David, calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
The hand gets no
Notice
respect.
how
It's covered in a blanket.
Stretched as well. She knows what striking distance is.
No, I'm actually really disappointed in it being on a Wednesday. I don't give a shit about Austin city limits. You know what? Move it to somewhere the fuck else. Or move it to a different fucking time. Do it a weekend after. I don't care. It doesn't have to be on the 10th. Make it easier for the people that have to go there, which is us, the citizens. Because if Austin City Limits is this biggest thing, bigger than South by Southwest, it's fucking huge on the weekend before CitizenCon and the weekend after CitizenCon. Well, guess what? People that want to go there, they're going to book hotels and they're going to book Airbnbs for the entire fucking week. They're not going to go away. Like, they're going to be there. And guess what? That means that we won't be able to. And yeah, CitizenCon is one day, but people don't go for one day. I'm not going to spend, $1,000 on an airplane ticket down to fucking Texas for one day. I'm going to go for multiple days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's shit. It's honestly shit. And you do nothing but fucking Frankfurt all over the fucking place. And now you do fucking Wednesday. Sorry.
I will say, I agree. Because it feels like they're intentionally tossing this CitizenCon so that they don't have to, because they probably won't have a lot to show. So they're doing their best to not make it a big deal about it. Because why would you do it? No one does anything like this on a Wednesday for a one-day event. Why don't you just do it later in the month? Oh, it's because there's so many other things. And do it in November. And like there's who gives a shit? It's on the 10th. Do it in September. Like you didn't do it on the exact day of the
10th. You didn't do it on the 10th
last year.
Like what the fuck?
You did it in a time that worked with a weekend slot. It's very much kind of like it feels very much like a snub to the North American crew, because like 2016 was the worst CitizenCon ever.
Holy shit, it was bad.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun.
But I had fun because of the people, not because of the presentation.
So I have 100%.
Our citizens were great.
Yes.
I 100% believe that's going to happen again, where I'm going to have a lot of fun because we're going to have parties and we're going to be hanging out in bars with each other and we're going to talk and it's going to be a fun time to hang out. But nothing's going to happen in the presentation. We're not going to get shit. We're not going to get octanes or everyone get 2 guns this time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No,
but also, guess what? I'm
Texas, you bring your own guns.
I'm lucky. I am really lucky. I have 3 weeks of vacation in a year that I can take. And lots of people don't. But I have 3 weeks of vacation I can take. But guess what? I'm going to have to blow one of my entire weeks of vacation just to go down to CitizenCon. Basically. Like,
it is actually really annoying that they put it in the middle of the working week.
Yeah.
And like people like me, it's a hell of a lot of money. And because it's in Texas this year, it's not even worth paying because Melissa Estrada's in Frankfurt.
But it's in the middle of the working week, right? Which I can take vacation, but think of all the people that I get paid for my vacation time, but think of the people that don't even get paid if they go on leave. Like, they don't get money if they leave. I hate it. It really disappoints me. I'm really not happy with it being on a Wednesday. I'm also honestly not happy with it being 2,500 tickets or whatever it is. That's no longer intimate.
It's not, well, the thing is, we're not going to have that. Going forward, it's going to be a BlizzCon. We're going to eventually, when Star Citizen releases, when Squadron 42 releases, we're going to have 10,000, 20,000 people at the event at some point.
If you
They'll
want
be
intimate-
doing it.
You've got to pay like $330 to watch Chris Roberts eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Oh God, yeah, that's totally not a waste of your money.
Okay. Questions.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? No, questions. Ask some questions. And Brian, I do want to get you started on that. What do you think about this whole Wednesday business?
I can certainly empathize with people who will have to take off work in the middle of the work week. But me generally, I honestly, besides the room and boarding, I don't really care because I mean I'm going to take it off anyway. Like I got all my reminders set for each day because I'm going to get a ticket this year because I'm hoping that it was going to be like was in Frankfurt last year where they had all the separate like booths and
and that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys put it so succinctly that like there's not much I can add on top of that.
I'm just confused. Like I don't mind. I live here, so like for me, there's no problem. Like I gotta take a day off work, maybe two. I'll probably take the Thursday off too because I don't want to, But I'm not. I can go home from work and go to the Bar Citizen on Tuesday, and then not work for 2 days, and then go back to work on Friday.
But
like,
you can. But you live close, and
Yeah.
this is something that the people.
I live literally
close,
20 minutes away from this. 20,
But the
30
people
minutes away
that
from
live
this
close
venue.
can always do that.
That's
and-
that's the thing.
But
yeah,
you can go to the pop-up events, you can go to the VIP events, you can go to all this other shit. And I'm sorry, but those of us that live far away, and keep in mind, there's a fuck ton of us that live far away.
most of you do.
All of most of
Everyone
Relay,
who isn't American, it feels like.
even most Americans, like you've got two things in America at the very southern tips of America, right? You've got all of the North that gets shit. And now not only do we get shit, but we also have to go in the middle of the week. Guess what? Guess what Canada gets? Nothing. We've never had a single thing. Never. And I don't know about you, but all of Relay is Canadian, basically. And I like to think that we matter at least slightly. Anyway, sorry. I'm going on a rant. We need to do some questions because a couple people asked questions. Bloodguard, no, we never stop complaining. Complaining is literally what we do here. It's what we are for. We are the Relay station. We yell.
So here's the reality. The game needs, honestly, it does need people to criticize it, and the best people to criticize it are people who love the game.
Yep.
If we're not talking about its flaws, then other people are, and other people don't give a shit about this game. We'll use it as a means to, like, YouTubers or bloggers or media types will use it as a means to get themselves some more get clicks, and they don't give a fuck about Star Citizen or the community. We actually care, which is why I at least try to bring out problems that often happen.
We've been doing.
Speaking of problems, how many tickets was it sold? 2,200, 2,400?
I have to look it up, but it's around that. It's between 21 and 2,500.
Now, a lot of you are going to stay with Desmarius. Heads, tails sort of thing. He is willing to do the taxi service, but it's a bit of a distance. But I feel that the Star Citizen community can really pull together at Desmarius's place. Everyone stay with Desmarius.
Criticizing is not ranting or yelling, but I also enjoy yelling and ranting sometimes. I find it fun. I find it also cathartic. Thank you, Brian.
I'm just confused as to why they chose to do it on a Wednesday on the 10th. Oh, because it's an anniversary. It's like, yeah, but you didn't do it last year. Yeah. You could have done it at the end of October or in early September or late September or early November. And it would have been the same, only you could have done it on the weekend.
Yeah. Anyway, I question that. I don't really like the decision, but that's just me. Also, yeah, we here at Relay have been doing this for a while of trying to call out CIG when we think that there's something wrong. I still think that the referral system is one of the largest pieces of garbage to ever be shat on anyone. And I'm going to keep
haven't had
doing it.
anywhere near enough Melissa Estrada this year.
Questions. HS asks, might all these great Marvel movies someday be released in one buyable compilation? Probably.
Probably. I'm sure there already is a Marvel pack somewhere you can purchase from Disney because Disney loves that shit.
There should be like a 10, like once Infinity War 2 comes out, like
Bless you.
a first stage pack of like everything leading up to the end. Mayonnaise 15 asks, in Squadron 42.
Hang on, do you think they're ever going to put like? I would really like to see some sort of picture book type affair of all the Marvel movies so far. Do you think they'd ever consider doing something like that?
No,
Just
that's
drawing
that's
little
way too much
pictures
work.
Okay.
That is way
Or
too much
pop-up
work.
books.
With maybe with little speech bubbles and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, you
with,
got
like,
the idea.
Panels and such.
That'd be great. I'd really
Perhaps
like that.
Like one of those things in the newspaper, like those
Like a
God, what is it called?
They're in panels.
Yeah, they're in panels. I can't
Panels.
remember it, though.
They're periodicals.
No, something like that.
No, I don't
that's
know.
not it. Not exactly. But
No,
something like that, yeah.
that's not
Just-
it.
But they should do that. They should totally use that. You
They
know,
should.
they're the
I think
it's-
there might be a market in that.
there might be. Yeah.
Mayonnaise 15 asks, in Squadron 42, do you think we'll ever have more than just 2 dialogue choices for inner thought system when talking to NPCs? Yes.
Yes. I think we'll have up to 4 or 5. In
Yeah.
some cases.
Probably.
And probably Crossroads.
A hungry viewer asks a question for Brian. Is Brees Arena's image supposed to look like a platter of tasty food?
Yes.
Well, this is a very involved answer because besides the background, the overall layout is a tattoo that I have. It was one of my first tattoos, so it has a very deep meaning. I can explain it now or a little bit later, whichever. But this is something I designed just to throw up something. So
Cool.
I think in a roundabout way, you've just been called a dish.
Tasty.
Tasty
Triangularity.
dish.
Triangularity asks, what can point in every direction but can't reach the destination itself by itself?
Clock. Compass.
Mayonnaise 15 asks, what kind of crime do you think will arise in Star Citizen? Example, stealing players' ships just to scrap them with the Reclaimer.
Wait, the question is,
What kind of crime will start? I
I
mean,
see it. I steal ships all the time when people leave them open on the pad.
I committed my first crime the other week.
Good job, baby's first crime. Good
Yeah,
job.
no, it was
Let's
when,
not get excited.
it
Yeah.
was when they launched the Reclaimer, and I was having that bug where none of your ships show up on the on the ship thing. I couldn't spawn anything. So I got into someone else's Reclaimer and they took off. And you know what? I left them alone for a while because I'm a nice guy. I was streaming this. I did the entire tour of the Reclaimer, looked at all the rooms. Then I got to the pilot's seat and he was sitting there flying his Reclaimer. And I was looking at it being like, I need to try to fly this. But I can't access it myself. This is entirely CIG's fault. And I shot him in the back of the head and took his Reclaimer.
Not bad.
yeah,
Baby's first murder. Good job. Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
You've been bloodied.
Yeah, I committed a crime.
You committed murder. That's not a crime. That's a capital offense.
It's the crime, okay?
And it's not just that,
the
it's-
crime.
It was premeditated murder for somebody who had absolutely no ability to defend themselves.
Yes, it would be murder.
You
in
literally
the
put
first
a
place.
gun-
Perfect crime.
You
Yes.
literally put a gun to the back of a helpless person's head. And
They
shot
didn't
the
even know
brains
I was
out.
there.
Yeah.
It was an assassination.
So if this person is watching this video now and he's going, so that's what fucking happened. Have you got a message for him?
Thank you.
He's just polite about it.
I would have apologized, but I don't talk in game. HZS asks, the Hurricane made an appearance in a Bug Smashers recently. Thoughts on what was shown of it?
It's a cool ship.
Sexy ship.
Yeah.
You have to, the freaking turret has to work, which is a problem, but
Turrets haven't really worked
Ever.
at all.
no, they need to fix turrets to make sure the turret play can be fun, and they're at the point where they have to start fixing the turrets to make them fun.
Yeah.
I went on a long rant about this on the Space Bro show, but essentially they need to make it one-to-one movement with the turrets, and they need to make they basically need to take the turrets and make them like the gimbals are right now, and that's it. So you can just like whip it back and forth, whip my hair back. No, that's an old meme. Whip it. You move in any direction really quickly, and there's none of this like slow like because that
Delayed
on top.
movement.
The delayed movement on top of trying to track targets is really fucking hard. So they need to like just scrap like the parts that they should have done for flight mechanics, where like they should do virtual joysticks. They do like direct input, and the parts where they put direct input, they should be doing virtual joysticks, and like it's weird. But yeah, there's a lot of work they need to do. It can be fun, but like when you have ships like the Hurricane, which require a decent gunner, it looks sexy, but fixed. I'm not going to be excited until that's fixed.
Our biggest fan at the karaoke bar asks, ignore all the questions for now. Sing us a quick space shanty.
No.
Can I?
Space. Done.
Yeah.
Don't you know do your balls hang low one? Do your balls hang low? Can you swing them to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow?
Can you
get a
will
funny
draw
feeling
more
when
shoulder
you
like
hit
a...
the ceiling that you'll never be a sailor when your balls hang low?
Yeah.
Welcome to the relay
Culture.
station.
That was Rick Mail that sang that. It's culture.
He said it with a British accent, so it is culture, and that's the way that works. That's the
Everything
rules.
in a British accent.
The British accent is culture. Yeah.
Aye.
Especially imperialism.
Yes. A Xion who secretly loves human potato dishes asks, what if the Squadron 42 Evocati testing only is pushed out with potato textures and text audio in the Xion language?
It'd be hilarious.
Completely okay for this.
Yeah.
Though, hang on, you would have one fucking asshole who goes through and translates everything from Xion to English just to spoil spoilers. To post the spoilers.
I completely forgot all my.
I'm going to take a little side trip here, and also say, the community needs to understand this is going to be a reality. Relay, people like myself, people like Burke Black, people like Coke Carnage, who may not play the game at all, will probably get media copies that they can stream early on before the game is released to everybody else. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I paid $5 so I deserve my fucking game before these fucking assholes who didn't put a damn dime in the game get it. These streamers aren't fucking special. They're just fucking lazy. They need to get a fucking job. And
streaming is the new advertising.
It is. And that's the problem. Like, you really have to understand that media copies with media companies like review companies, or even like Relay, and streamers like myself, or like much bigger streamers, will bring traffic to a game and attention to a game. And that's what you want. It's cheaper to do that and more effective to do that than buying a fucking TV spot.
I feel like there's a lot of people that have followed Relay over the past number of years, and there will probably be more people that continue to follow us. But, and this might be me being slightly egotistical, but I feel like a lot of people would read Relay's review of Squadron 42.
Yeah, there would be. I mean, the thing is that they know what Relay is. Anyone who...
Yeah, at least 3.
At most 3.
At most, yeah. And all of them edited it. It was me and my editors.
Well,
less or equal to.
I will also say, Chief, the reality is that the people who they target won't necessarily not be Star Citizen streamers. They'll still give Star Citizen streamers it, but they'll also give it to other people. The reason why they'd give it to Star Citizen streamers is because giving it to Star Citizen streamers would give people who have. It's like getting PTU or not PTU, yeah, PTU access. When early PTU access happens, and there's a lot of streamers who have the early PTU access because they simply play the game, it gives generates a lot of attention, and those people who have PTU access know the game. The difference between a CohhCarnage and myself is CohhCarnage has never picked up the game, or he has, and he hasn't played it as detailed as I am. I am even the worst Star Citizen player is better than a brand new player who's never played the game before. So. That's the major difference. So they'll still do it.
The worst player is me.
I do have two counters to that though, because if streamers do get Squadron 42 before everybody else, and
they can spoil it,
they will. But I think
not that, but like, would they stream the game while they play it, or
100%? I think more than likely they'll do something the way that who did this? Harebrained Schemes did with BattleTech, or with some other games as well, which is they'll limit them. They'll say, hey, you can only stream these missions.
Yeah.
You can play whatever you want, but you can only stream these missions. If we find out you break this, and they'll ask you to sign a contract or an NDA. And if you break this, they'll go after you. And most streamers won't break NDAs because we'd like to work in the industry, and this is a small industry. Everyone knows each other. Most of the people who work at Star Citizen have worked for another gaming company somewhere else and have friends who still work at those companies.
And
if word gets out that you broke an NDA, you get fucked.
Yeah.
Like 100%. So that'll be a little different.
That makes I want to talk about something so bad, but maybe later.
No.
I want to.
No.
Questions.
Let's get through this.
Okay.
If we run out of questions, you can do that.
Okay.
If we run out of questions, you can sing. I'll let you sing instead.
Shiver knows what it is I want to talk about. Dirk asks, with all the salt about conventions in general, including CitizenCon, would you prefer CIG stop doing them entirely and instead do something like the Squadron 42 stream that they did last year?
Yes. It's wasting money. Like if they're gonna do it in the middle of the week intentionally, just so they can say that they had a CitizenCon, and they're not even doing a presentation at Gamescom, just don't do CitizenCon. Why bother? Until the game is more further out and they have more stuff settled and they have a community that they can actually draw on, they can actually build on top of, do a BlizzCon kind of type of event. Why?
I disagree. I am very okay with them doing CitizenCon. I am also very okay with them not doing any other convention. Other conventions, I think, are money and not for us. CitizenCon is for the people that have paid the game. And while we don't really know, I do personally hope that most of CitizenCon is paid for by subscribers. At the same, and ticket sales and such. And
a sponsor like Amazon or Intel or something like that.
And that's the other thing. Last year's CitizenCon was fantastic. Panels, like the each individual panel was amazing. I want to be at that.
Yes.
I want them to do that. I don't want them to do Gamescom. I don't even I want them to do every single convention leading up, like in the 6 months before Squadron 42 releases. Go everywhere. Show it off. Make people play vertical slices. Fine. Before then, CitizenCon, and that's it.
The problem is that CitizenCon, there's a difference between a lot of people saying, oh, CitizenCon was awesome. You can still do those panels. You can still do those presentations as a video or as a live stream rather than paying for the people to show up. It's nice, but the question is it worth the money? And my personal opinion is, unless there's being completely bankrolled by somebody else, there's no point in doing it.
We don't know though. It could be bankrolled by the subscribers and the ticket sales and the sponsors.
You can tell if it's Amazon who's bankrolling it, because you've got a line for ordinary ticket holders and then a line for Prime users.
I mean, they kind of have that already.
We do have that this year, so it must be.
Yeah.
Wait, do I get an extra bonus if I'm an Amazon Prime
Do I
subscriber?
get a rage about this? Because I mean, I'm a little bit left, but in fact, I mean, come on, all pigs are equal out here in the back universe. So,
What's the point of getting that ticket though? Like the only thing I've seen that's benefit is you can buy it early and you get primo seating in the pit. That's it.
I'm buying
It's
it.
like
first
what?
3 rows will get wet.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going for it.
like I'm gonna get it only because it's a limited number, so
Yeah.
like I'm okay with that. But it seems to a degree something more like CIG is like, hey, we know that
No,
these
no.
people will subscribe just so they can get in that small pool of 150 people so they could buy
They're a
it.
limited number now, but they're going to go on sale again in a couple of weeks.
As
will.
people's stuff decline. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway,
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one.
Dirk
But-
asks,
Before we go, I definitely have to disagree with Paul because CitizenCon is about us. It's about the backers, and you're not just paying for the venue. You're paying for the interactions with both the developers and the community. There's a difference between interacting on a chat like Twitch chat right now, and actually talking to people in person.
I agree,
So,
but I think the question is the overall cost worth it?
well, I mean, the subscribers and the subscribers pay for that. So does the venue tickets help pay for that? So
Mhm. But as someone who's helped put on events before like this, I can tell you that more than likely you lose money. More than likely,
no doubt.
every single one has been a loss of money. And when it comes down to it, it means that they're using money from backers. And the question is the benefit to 2,400 backers worth it for a cost of possibly several hundred thousand, if not thousands of dollars to
No.
to get a venue?
no, but I want
That
to
just
go and get
assumes-
my head scanned in.
that. But that also assumes that
You're gonna have to shave, you know that, right?
I'd do it. I would shave
I-
to get my head scanned in.
same here.
I would shave my head to get my head scanned in.
I've bicked my head before.
I'd do it. Okay, I want to move on because we do have a couple more questions. Thank you, everyone. Dirk asks, how do you feel about CIG partnership with select streamers and providing them with PCs? So,
I don't
Paul,
have a PC.
Paul,
Yeah.
I love you. I think you're great.
I've
hate-
had this conversation before. Quick, if you run now, it doesn't count as an official dumping.
I hate the amount of preference that's given by CIG to Twitch streamers. Personally, I hate it. I think it sucks.
We're on Twitch.
Yeah,
we
but
don't
they
get
we
any
don't
priority,
we don't
but
get
that's not
shit.
the point. Astro doesn't get any priority, but that's not the point.
No, I know, but like there are some streamers that do get priority and they get shipped
Can I-
across. They get shipped across entire oceans to
Is
stream.
this
at,
fake news?
no,
Because
this
I've
is
not heard of who got a PC.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay,
Yeah.
so
No.
Matachi, Captain Richard, and
Saurus.
Saurus got custom built not top of line, like $4,000, $5,000 PCs built
And
for them, and
I've got a
paid for them
really-
by
What did they do
CIG.
for that?
I have a really big problem with that
Promoting
because
services.
They've got a fucking job. They're not fucking homeless. They haven't
Yeah.
got a fucking disease. It's not a
Shiver,
Last Wish
can
Foundation.
can I
Fuck off.
Shiver,
I'm
can
sorry,
I
but
this
you've got
this
a
is
fucking job. What are you? Oh, give me this. Give me this.
Shiver, this is
Maybe
why I
not.
brought it up.
I-
This is
I-
why
I've
I
talked-
brought it up. Can I
I've ta-
can I talk about it?
Let me
No,
explain.
we're
let me
still
explain-
raging.
Let me talk to Shiver to let you know. I've talked to every single person who has gotten the PCs, and they've all said that they were approached for it. They didn't ask for it.
I don't
CIG
give a shit.
or the companies
Yeah.
approached them. But that's Shiver's like did they beg for it? They didn't really beg for it. They were asked for it. And if someone comes up to you and says,
Yeah,
"Hey, we want to give you a $5,000 PC," your response isn't, "But why?" Your response is, "All right,
Yes.
cool.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
gonna take that."
I understand
What
that.
are people gonna think if I bring
It
this
should
out?
be, but
I understand
Yeah,
that, but I was made assurances by CIG about something. Something that is really fucked up, okay? And them doing
Can
this,
I, if you're in that sort of a mood, can you give me some money so I can get the woman I love to actually come and live with me? Because I can't even get that.
I don't know. Paul, you know what I'm talking about. You're one of the few people that does. I don't know
About what?
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about.
Kind of. I have no idea what you're talking about. Hey, let me put it this way. I personally have no issue with it
Check
because
Discord, Paul.
it is a connection with get out of big.
If it is CIG, then I'm going to have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because it would be weird to not, and say, all right, I withdraw my complaints. These people must have and must do something that's worth of a PC for marketing reasons. Therefore, I must have been wrong, and I'm sorry, and I will trust that it's with good reason. So I know
I'm not
a couple
sure
of
if I
those
should
names
talk
on there,
about
and they're
this.
good people.
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, because it's something that happened to you. But the Me Too movement is a thing.
I kind
That's all
of
I'm gonna
want
say
to
about
talk
that.
about it because it really disturbed me, and I was made some promises by CIG about it, and then I didn't
Thank you,
talk
Russell,
about it,
Rudy.
and now they've given him. Well, no, fuck that. They've given him a $5,000 PC to stream Star Citizen.
I'll do it for you, Rusty.
No, I don't care.
I know. I'm
Thanks,
doing it for
thanks,
Rusty.
Rudy. What do you think?
I think there are more questions on the document.
Well,
I think I want to.
It's a big. Here's the problem. By saying it on here, you will be breaking TOS, and you could get banned.
Am I
Yes, you are. It is 100% a TOS bannable. What you're about to say.
really?
Even if
Twitch,
it's
Twitch bannable?
Twitch could ban you. They
That
could.
is
They could.
fucked
However,
up.
you are free
Yeah.
to say whatever you want on the freedom of Discord, which we have a Discord.
We do. You know what? If anyone wants to know what I'm raging about, join up discord.gg/relaysc and ask me what I'm raging about, and I will tell you. I won't say anything on
Really
here.
not worth it, by the way.
It's not. But I won't say anything on here other than I'm really disappointed in CIG right now. Like, extremely disappointed. Yeah, personally, I'm really disappointed in them. They promised me something, and they've gone back on that, and I feel bad. And I'm probably gonna be messaging them at some point to ask them why. Yeah, I think it's disgusting. Simple as that.
I can't comment about what happened between you and CIG.
I'll tell you at some point. It's a
There
personal
is-
issue.
It is a personal thing that happened at 2016 CitizenCon, and it
Okay.
has nothing to do with CIG.
It's not CIG.
Well, it has something to do with somebody else in the community with interacting with Eris. And
okay.
unfortunately, that person is also a streamer who has gotten a stream PC, or a stream PC, one of the PCs from CIG. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And it is a TOS violation if he says anything else about it,
So I
even
won't.
though it's
Actually, he asks
technically
for
illegal.
CitizenCon predictions.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Didn't want to go over that one.
Okay. We are
I was
just
gonna
about. Yeah. Ashley asks for CitizenCon predictions. I only want one thing from CitizenCon, and that is a release date for Squadron 42. It's not going to be this year. I really hope that we get a.
We broke Eris! Yes! Yes! I have won! He is no longer an optimistic idiot.
But I want.
For every year, Eris has said that Squadron 42 is coming out at the end of this year, or Star Citizen's releasing beta at the end of this year. He always believed. He believed up to like the minutes before midnight in December last year or 2 years ago. And now he's finally like,
I never did. I just wanted to. I had to.
you got to stick to the guns.
I have to. Well, no, I have to. Put forward my message of hope.
That it will come out. That we'll get a release date. I think
Yeah.
we might get a ballpark date.
I would like
Q4
a like
2018.
Q1, Q2, Q3 2019. Like, give me Q3 2019. Yeah. Okay.
Can I just say, Ashley really does not want you to sing.
No. Ashley asks an absolute. Hey, Cupid. Thank you. Ashley asks a ton of questions, and I don't know who Ashley is, but thank you, Ashley.
Ashley's in our Discord.
Yeah, but I just know this name Ashley. I don't. Other than the questions, I don't know who Ashley is. Like does Ashley like vanilla ice cream or chocolate?
I heard that Ashley quite likes vanilla.
Vanilla, okay.
Yeah.
Ashley asks, if you could own a single star citizenship in real life, what would it be? Reclaimer.
In real life, that actually works in real life.
Oh my god,
like
that's many things.
A freelancer.
What do you think, Brian? What would you want to own?
In real life?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh. See, the type of ship that I would really love hasn't been released yet. And it's the Lambda class shuttle in Star Wars. So something analogous to that in Star Citizen, maybe the 600i or
Okay.
Ain't Any Jump.
You're all wrong. The answer is Retribution.
Biggest ship possible.
Yeah.
Your enemies will fear you.
Just gonna go to the shops.
Hey, Shiver, who are you going to get to crew that thing?
I don't need a crew when I'm just got this huge thing in space. It's
How
all that
often?
matters.
How often do you walk 5 kilometers to get from the captain's chair to the turret you want to fire?
I'd be more worried about the trip to the bathroom.
Yeah, that too. Hey, Brivals! Thanks for the subscribe. The
Yeah,
wave
thanks,
is back.
Brian.
My pleasure.
Give me a break. Chief Gully asks, what is your opinion on the new fuel mechanics and the effect that they have on fighters? Good. Fuck fighters.
I don't necessarily say fuck fighters, but I don't think fighters should be all powerful, all reaching gods of the universe.
They've said
They
this
need to be-
forever.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. Like that a Hornet is a short range fighter. A Gladius is a short
Carbide
range
edge.
fighter.
Carbide edge.
Thanks, mate.
It gives weight to your decisions as well.
Mhm.
If you're on a Super Hornet that's all this overpowered thing, then you don't need to ever have anything else other than this Super Hornet that can fly from every corner of the galaxy. It
Yeah.
gives everyone a nice role. So yeah.
It also depends on how many truck stops there are in between.
Yeah, but it also changes jump points. Like some cases, yeah, you could go 9 jump points, but you need to make sure that you can, because you can't scoop. You either need to make sure some sort of refuel mechanic is in place, or you may have to go from a jump point to a truck stop to a jump point, which then extends the time of travel. It basically makes you think about your gameplay. Like if you're going to be an escort, a fighter escort in the Crusader system, it's not that difficult because you can go anywhere. But once that escort is going from Crusader to Terra, then you got to start thinking about all the logistics of it. And logistics are cool. As weird as it sounds, like this game is going to be 50% planning and 50% gameplay. So if you're playing this game to be like, ooh, burp. If you're playing the game to be just to be like pew, 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 all the time, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have to plan when you get to the PPUs and how you do that. And sometimes if you pre-plan or you don't plan properly, then you're just gonna die. And your ship's gonna be blown up. So,
Yeah. Haramis asks, will we get another form of FPS movement through zero-G? Maybe something more suited for small rooms? Push and pull, for example? Is it mandatory for SATA ball? Way back when they showed off the... God damn it, what's the name of that bloody ship? The bomber.
Gladiator.
No.
Retaliator.
Retaliator. When they showed off the Retaliator on like the CitizenCon, like 3 years ago, and they had that pre-canned animation of him like pulling himself through the corridors. We know that that's not in game, and it basically hasn't been. But I'm still hoping that they go for something like that, where instead of just your jump jet things, you actually pull yourself along.
I think that's they were looking at that tech that was the same tech that's looking at the floor, so you're doing the procedural walking animations, is
Yeah.
going to be the same sort of tech that they apply to
With
zero
procedural
gravity
grabbing
move
and
for push
pull.
and pull. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So yes is the answer to your question.
Yeah.
Probably like another iteration of what we have now.
Yeah.
That they'll
Haramis
loop around later.
Haramis also put in the full "What will we do with the drunken sailor" thing, but in deference to everyone asking so many great questions, I'm not going to sing it. Sorry, Haramis. So Ashley asks, would you play as a Vanduul if given the option?
Yes, because I like dichotomy. I like seeing the other side.
No, because
And
they're
roll
filthy
climate.
savages. Ashley also asks, would you buy a joystick set modeled after your favorite ship?
No.
I
No,
would
I'd want the joystick to look like the joystick in my favorite ship.
I would buy. I really liked the look of the high-end joystick that CIG released a long time ago. That's never going to be made now, which could come modeled after your favorite ship, but I don't expect it to. Also, I don't even know what the hell my favorite ship is. So
Talking that, I heard Logitech are actually looking at revamping their whole HOTAS lineup now that they've acquired SciTech and sort of gotten to grips with things. They are looking at revamping stuff. And if you're in the market for a fucking expensive throttle that looks really nice is the upcoming Verpil one. But my God, that's expensive.
How expensive is it?
Like more than the Warthog HOTAS, I believe,
Oh, really?
just for the throttle. I think pretty close.
That's what I have. I have a Warhog, and it's sublime.
I've got the joystick for it up there. It's good, but it's just too. It feels
got a
like
lot of
trying to push a
resistance.
pregnant rhino, and it's not good if you're in a Gladius or an M50.
Yeah,
But it's
but then
good stick.
but then you can use all that wrist and forearm muscles that you gain.
I don't know what you mean.
Where did Eris go?
Ashley asks, "What would your dream ship be like, Astro? What
The
would your
fucking-
dream ship be like?
The Freelancer? It already exists.
That's your dream ship,
Yeah. Why not?
as is.
It's rugged. It does what it needs to do. It can go from place to place. There's no problem with it. Like, why not?
Okay. Brian?
I alluded to it earlier. Anything that resembles the Lambda class shuttle in Star Wars. That's my favorite ship design. So get on it,
It's a good ship.
CIG.
where are
Love
we
that.
now, Shiver?
Would you like to see?
Ashley asks, would you like to see turrets with aim assist at a lower cost than a fully automated turret? No aim assist.
No, but we're probably going to have aim assist anyways. It's called. We already have it in the game. It's called ESP.
pips?
ESP. It's already in the game. It just
Yeah.
depends. It'll as you get closer to a target, it'll fine tune your targeting, and then as you go further away, it'll give it a little bit wider. The idea is that it's easier for you to hit a target because you're not like flipping onto it, but as you get close to it, your cursor will move more with the target rather than away from the target, as long as you're locked.
I'm going to end with this last question by
Oh,
Mayonnaise.
but I've got a
and-
good answer for the one after.
Okay, fine. I'll end with the one after this one. Mayonnaise asks, would you like to see realistic crash physics for ships now or in the future, similar to Space Engineers?
No. It's just, there's immersion, and then there's like, why the fuck would you do this? Like, yeah, realistic
I am
crash
being
physics works.
attacked. I'm being attacked by a blanket thing. Sorry. Carry on, Paul.
Like, the problem I've always had with the Space Engineers, and I'm sure this is going to be an issue, there will be an issue with this in Star Citizen, is that how much information is required to show that the front end of your ship just crashed into an asteroid and it's broken off will literally cause frames to go from 30 to 10. So because there's so much information, they have to track all the new particles that are going in, and just your game will go stutter, 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 not just frames, but it'll like spike and all that some stuff. So reducing what's required for the actual game to do something, like to track targets and stuff like that are unnecessary, is best than just keep doing what they're doing. Anyways, it's just more taxing on the game than it should be worth it.
And Ashley has the last question that Shiver wants to answer. Is there an industry more incestuous than game development?
Redneck, isolated, trapped in the mountains horror movie person.
No, I mean, Ash is not wrong. The game industry is insanely incestuous. Like, pretty much everyone who works in the game industry knows everybody else. I've been working as a streamer for 2 years, as a partner for almost 2, or a little over 2, or over 1. And I will say that the people I know who have moved from company to company over the years is dramatic, and they never leave the industry. They just go to a different company. So I have connections at like 6 different companies, and that will change probably in the next 6 months.
Yep.
You know, I guarantee you there are people at CIG right now who will leave CIG in 2 or 3 years and go work for another company, and there they will get, be working for, like, they may work for, who knows, like Blizzard again, or Crytek, or something like that, and then suddenly you've got, suddenly you'll know people like, hey, I recognize that guy. I know that guy. He works for this company now, or whatever. It happens all the time. And it's because there's not enough people who work in the industry for it to be easy to. It's easy to enter, hard to leave. Yeah. It's very difficult.
It's such a difficult industry as well, because you need some really high class skills and studying to do what you need to do, and then you
very
get this job and it's crap pay.
Yeah, it's very specific.
In a game industry, yeah. Industry, it's pretty crap compared to going and working for a bank. It's a better job because you're not going to be bored out of your skull, but. Yeah. It's
the gaming equivalent of teaching, I think, or the tech equivalent of teaching. It's like it requires a lot of experience. It requires a lot of training, but you get paid like crap compared to your peers who are working in like making an app for a bank. They can make 5 times what you make in a year simply by doing that, and they don't get treated like shit. But you do it because you like to make games, Yep.
I mean, it was when it first started. It was a much closer industry, and it was families and friends that started making their games, and everyone was like, I don't care if you copy my game, share it around, and that kind of community just grew, and there is that community still at core, and which is why streamers and people in the industry become better friends than you would with the person who makes your bank app, I suppose.
Weird. Okay, sorry, that paused. My bad. If I minimize stuff, it all pauses. I apologize. Okay. So, Brian, any last remarks before we end?
Everything. The reason why I didn't pipe up today is because y'all said everything succinctly, so I couldn't add. So
I'm sorry, Brian.
I'm sorry. Good job. I like having you on, and I like your insight. It just, you seemed so quiet today, and it made me sad. I'm sorry.
Aww.
Shiver?
Vegetable rights and peace.
No. Paul?
I'll be alive again in a couple hours. Then I got to go on a date with the wife, because the wife just sent me a text message. It's I know. But she sent me a text message like, you want to go on a date night? Because Infinity War just came out. I'm like, oh, sure. If we can get tickets at this late, like right now.
Yeah. Can you get some?
I don't know.
Go now. Get some. You need tickets.
She's the one in charge of that, because she actually has all the accounts with all the
the points like that.
Yeah. So like she's like, I can do it, but she's the one usually on top of that. So
go in, I believe, 2 hours. Paul will be streaming over at twitch.tv/theastropub. He has a much more organized and professional stream than we do here. Slightly more
that's a lie. Well. Stop lying.
Go check that out.
Great podcast.
Yes,
It's a great podcast if you enjoy podcasts, not necessarily if you're a Star Citizen fan. If you like science fiction stuff that's sort of like loosely associated with Star Citizen at times, then it's a great podcast.
Yeah.
But the amount of times we've gone on rants about The Expanse, about Lost in Space, about
that's so much
BattleTech,
more
about
entertaining.
Sea of Thieves, about so if you like open world games and sci-fi themes, it's kind of what we do.
Yeah. A little bit of madness asks a good question. Who's on this week, Paul?
This week it's we got a new face, HC Vertigo. You probably have seen him before, streaming Star Citizen. We have Will, aka Moonbase Kappa. He's gonna be on there. And then we've got Matachi and Board Gamer. So fresh off of I managed to talk him into coming on right after BritishCon. So I don't know how inebriated or tired he's going to be. He's probably going to be very tired, though. It sounded like you guys had a lot of fun at BritishCon. It was very long nights from the looks of things. So,
well, thank you all so much for hanging out. Go check out Paul in 2 hours. Brian, thanks so much for being on again.
Always a
Shiver,
pleasure.
thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Next week, keep an eye out on Relay. I believe we've got a special article that has been written up that's going to be going up. That's great. And I think next weekend, the podcast will be talking about it a fair bit. So look forward to that. I think it's going to be a huge load of fun.
Oh, are you doing your Mass Effect playthrough this week?
Yeah, we are. Hey, Dr. Trones, thanks for that. Thank you all for hanging out. If you do want to listen to more of my ridiculousness, myself and Commander Llama, who's actually the Relay guy who wrote this article, have started doing a Mass Effect playthrough of all of Mass Effect, starting at the first Mass Effect. We're going to be doing that every Thursday. I don't even know the hours yet, but I think he's over at twitch.tv/Commander Llama. So check that out if you want to listen to us rage about Mass Effect. With that, thank you all so much for hanging out. It was a great time. We'll see you all next week, and we'll see you in the verse.